Stop eating shit. If it smells like shit, if it looks like shit, and if it tastes like shit, it's shit. Michael McLean, brassballsvideos.com. I'm an ex-professional hockey coach, ex-amateur championship hockey coach, turned 8-figure entrepreneur. You can download a copy of my brand new book for free. The link is below, brassballsvideos.com. It's easy to read. You can read it in one sitting, 22-page, no fluff, no theory, no bull. The link is below. Print it off, read it on your phone. I don't care what you do with it. The title of the book, 5 Ways to Unfuck Your Life in the Next 30 Days. If you're like me and you need to get your shit together from time to time, you want to do it quickly in a month or less than a month, download the free book below. So I cannot believe what I see from the 99% majority, mediocre majority of men, husbands, fathers, grandfathers in today's world showing up as pathetic, absolute pathetic shadows of themselves. Whatever happened, as my grandfather used to say, whatever happened to the riverboat gamblers? Whatever happened to the elite top 1% driven and generous men in today's world? Absolutely pathetic surrender everywhere we look. It's time that 99% of men grab the pair, reclaim their balls, and for God's sakes, started playing some offense. Most men, they wake up every day, they grab their phone, and they play small. They play not to lose. And they grab that phone, they get out of bed, they're tired, they're fatigued, they're so-called depressed or anxious or stressed or whatever the hell their latest victim mentality is. And they lose control of their day within 10 minutes because they grab that smartphone. And it's just pathetic. As the great madman George Lois used to say, stop eating shit. If it looks like shit, if it smells like shit, and it tastes like shit, it is shit. It's like the great Alabama retired coach Nick Saban always says. You have to have standards in your life. You have to have standards in your home. You have to have standards in your business. You have to have standards in your marriage. And if everybody doesn't buy into those elite standards, if people don't buy into those standards in your business and in your personal life, then you're never, ever, ever going to have any team chemistry. You're never going to have any peace of mind. And you're never, ever going to get the results that you're looking for. Saban nailed it. Saban absolutely nailed it when it comes to the standards in your life. It's as simple as this. Low performance people, low achievers do not like high achievers. And Saban said, high achievers don't like people with low standards or low achievers. So if you have a foot in one world, low achievement, and you have another foot in high achievement, the only thing you're ever going to have in your life and your business is chaos, because you're trying to play it on both sides of the ledger. You're trying to be a high performance person, but meanwhile, you have people, you're surrounded yourself with people with low standards. In other words, you want to have top 1% results, but meanwhile, you're still willing to eat shit. You're willing to play defense instead of playing to win. We have a world of men, husbands and fathers and grandfathers and entrepreneurs walking around playing small. It's like they've totally surrendered. But what you have to understand as a man in 2024 is that This is the age of intimidation. This is the age of intimidation. And admittedly, I fucking well love it. I love that I'm living now in the age of intimidation. I say bring it on. Whether it's big government, whether it's big technology, whether it's big pharmaceutical, I don't care if it's, regardless of who the bully is, whoever the person is, or the group, or the so-called offended, or the so-called politically corrected, whatever it is, I say bring it on. It's about time that more men started looking and saying, you know what? We need to bring in the brass balls factor. Like the great Dan Kennedy said 25 years ago, in business and in life, there's something called the brass balls factor. And if you don't have it, if you don't have the brass balls factor in your life, in your world, then you're not going to have you're going to be eating a lot of shit. You're going to be smelling a lot of shit. You're going to be experiencing a lot of shit. And like Saban said, it comes back to standards. It comes back to the standards. We're not our highest aspirations. We're our lowest standards. And it's standards for everything in our life. Whether it's our fitness, whether it's our sex life, whether it's our marriage, whether it's our wealth, our marketing, the way we speak to ourselves, the way we show up, the way we use technology. It's all about standards. And as simple as Saban said, mediocre people do not like high achievers, and high achievers do not like mediocre people. So you, as the king of your family, the king of your world, the king of your company, you've got to decide. Is it going to be all mediocre people with low standards, or is it going to be all high frequency people, all high performance people, and all high standards? Because you can't complain if you're eating shit, if it smells like shit, and it looks like shit, and it is shit. That's because you've got the standards, you've got low standards and mediocre people in your life. And in 2024, it's all about the age of intimidation. Look around you. What has anti-social media done? What has anti-social media done? Let me tell you what it's done. It's turned mice into men. I used to tell my hockey players the reason that I believe that fighting should still be in the game of hockey, especially at the pro level. There's hardly any fights anymore. It's not the fights themselves. My teams, we would go a season without a single fight. But it was the concept of peace through strength and the ability to have tough players that you didn't have mice turning into men. You see it in basketball now, in the NBA, it's full of mice into men. You see it in baseball, mice into men. You see it now a little bit in hockey, mice into men. You see it in football, mice into men. It's the same thing with anti-social media. Intimidation, I call them keyboard cowards, where people can stand up, they can rant, they can rave, they can try and embarrass you, they can try and ruin you, they can try and shame you into being you showing up as a smaller man, or get you to play defense, or get you to play small, or get you to be embarrassed about your success or your wealth or your manhood, whatever the hell it is. And they're safely behind a keyboard and a screen, mice into men. So it's never ever been more important in 2024 for you and me to have the brass balls factor in play. And when I talk about brass balls, I'm talking about mental toughness. That's what I'm talking about. Brass balls means mental toughness. It means when somebody tries to shame you, somebody tries to intimidate you, somebody tries to make you feel small, when somebody tries to humiliate you, whether it's online, offline, whether it's an employee, whether it's a vendor, whether it's anybody in your world, you have to make a decision. And it's like Shakespeare said, it's all comes down to To be intimidated or not be intimidated. That's what business and life comes down to, especially now in 2024. To be intimidated or not to be intimidated. And the great Robert Ringer, one of the books that transformed my life 30 years ago, one of the greatest titles ever, was Robert Ringer's book, Winning Through Intimidation. He wasn't talking about blunt, brutal force. He was talking about mental toughness. He was talking about the ability to stick up for your principles and stick up for your values and stick up for what's right and wrong. And that not somebody online or some politician or some bureaucrat or somebody in the White House or somebody as a prime minister, that we become cowards. We shrink as men. And that's how all of a sudden, I had an old saying in hockey. Wayne Maxter, my mentor, used to say when it came to taking shit on the ice, and he used to say it in training camp to our players. Somebody would take a liberty with a player, somebody be a dirty play, it would be a greasy play, or somebody didn't stand up for themselves, or whatever it was. And Max used to always say in the locker room, the very first day, he'd say, take it now, take it all year. Take it now, take it all year. And I'll never forget that. And his point to the players was, if you don't stand up for yourself now, you're going to have to put on the knee pads for the rest of the year, and it's only going to get worse. So in your world, if there's any part of your world, whether it's personal, whether it's professional, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your relationship with your kids, maybe it's your fitness level, your nutrition, employees, managers, business partners, I don't care who it is. But if it smells like shit and it looks like shit, you are eating shit. And eating shit to me is just about just lowering your standards, that you're no longer in the fight, that you've given up, that you're taking the sheeple way out. We need more lions. We need more kings. We need more champions, more builders, more rainmakers. We don't need any more sheep. We don't need any more low T poodles in this world. But I think it's time that every man took a look around in your own world. I do it in my world all the time. Is there any area of my life where I'm eating shit, where it looks like shit, it smells like shit, and it tastes like shit? And guess what? It is shit. It could be a toxic employee. It could be a toxic relationship. It could be a toxic vendor. It could be a bad habit, drinking alcohol, vaping, porn, gambling, digital dementia addiction. Maybe you're an iPhone junkie. I don't know what it is. But if it looks like shit, it smells like shit, and it tastes like shit, then that is shit in your life. And it has to go. That stuff has to be curated. It has to be swift sorted. It has to be punted out of your world immediately. Like Saban said, you can't have both feet in mediocre, 1 foot in mediocre and 1 foot in excellence. You're either a high performance person or you're not. You're either a mediocre person or you're not. But you can't have team chemistry. You can't have a chemistry in your family. You can't have team chemistry in your business. You can't have peace of mind. You can't have any of this stuff, happiness, whatever you want to call it, unless you decide once and for all, enough is enough. And I'm going to demand more from myself than I've ever demanded from. I'm going to show up as a 9.5 every day in my world. It starts with you. If it's going to be, it's up to me, right? You can't demand high performance. You can't expect people to attract high performance people into your world unless you're high performance. So it always starts with the man in the glass. It always starts with the man or the woman in the arena. And once you show up and you start getting your act together, that's where my book comes in. Then all of a sudden, you magnetically start to attract wealth. You start to attract high performance people. And you stop tolerating anybody that doesn't buy into the standard. That's what Saban's always saying. if we don't have buy-in to the standard, we can't have team chemistry. And what he was basically saying is, if we don't have everybody buying into high performance, to high standards, we got no chance to win. You have no chance to win with both feet in those two different worlds. It's either winning or it's losing. It's either losing or it's excellence, but you can't have both. And most men have both feet, one foot in this side, mediocre, and one foot here trying to make things better. It's all in, all the way. It's burn the ships or give up. But you can't have it both ways. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. But enough of the giving into the intimidation. This intimidation I see online and offline, and this toxic masculinity and trying to shame fathers and trying to shame people. This is the Western way now in the Western world. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm supposed to be ashamed. Oh, I'm a present father. I'm supposed to be ashamed. Oh, I'm a straight guy. I'm supposed to be ashamed. Oh, I'm married. I'm supposed to be ashamed. Oh, I make millions of dollars. I'm supposed to be ashamed. Fuck that. I build my own world. You need to build your own world. And it's a world that's built on your values and your principles. Your values and your principles. Let these other cupcakes and snowflakes and poodles be ruled by their feelings. Oh, I didn't feel like walking, Michael. I get up and I don't feel like writing. I don't feel like sending an email. My emotions. Let those cupcakes do their thing. You get control of your emotions and start ruling your life with your values and your principles. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you're not sure you want to walk, you're not sure you want to drink the water, you're not sure you want to read, you're not sure you want to copyright, ask yourself this question as an elite man. Will this move me closer to my life's mission or not? And if the answer is a hell yes, you fucking well do it. It's not about your emotions. It's not about your feelings. You're not a 10-year-old school child. You get up and you walk in the rain. You get up and you write when you're not feeling good. You get the job down. You're depressed, you still do the work. You're anxious, you still do the work. Like my father says, pressure is a fucking privilege. Pressure is a privilege. The only people that don't have stress, the only people that don't have anxiety, the only people that don't have pressure are the people down the street that are buried 6 feet under in the graveyard. Count your blessings and stop being so fucking ungrateful. It's like we've never had a tough job in our life. Like, holy shit, I dug ditches, I washed windows, I worked in an old shoe factory. I've had the shit job. I've eaten shit, I've looked at the shit, it smelled like shit, I've had terrible bosses, I've been a bootlicker as well. I know all about it, but it's like we've never had a tough job. So guys will say to me, they'll be like, oh, Michael, it's so difficult to walk each morning for half an hour. Do you not remember the jobs you had when you were in high school and college? That was difficult. Putting on your shoes and walking outside in nature by yourself and thinking and dreaming and getting some fresh air and some time with your creator, that's not difficult. In fact, that's very simple. Oh, Michael, I don't know how you do Operation Money Suck and write every day for an hour or 2 hours. I find that very hard. I don't feel like doing it. Bingo! There's the giveaway right there. You're ruled by your feelings and emotions instead of your principles and your mission and your goals and your values. If your values are integrity and honesty and hard work, all these things I'm talking about are just automatic. You wouldn't think about missing because that's lying. That's not being honest. That's being sloth-like. That's being selfish. So if you have these so-called principles and values, like hard work and punctuality and honesty and integrity, then you don't miss. You're like me, you don't miss. I couldn't miss sending an email. I could not miss shooting a video. I could not miss walking. I could not miss reading, because I'd be going against the person that I actually am. I'd be going against my values. I'd be going against my principles. I'd be negotiating the process, and I would be fucking well lying to myself. I'd be lying to the man in the glass. And if I ask myself that question, Michael, does skipping walking, does skipping writing, does skipping prayer, does skipping date night, does skipping the gym, does this move me towards the man that I want to be? And the answer is hell no. Then my feet go on the floor, and like a grown, mature adult who's not ruled, is not emotionally drunk, I'm a guy who's ruled by my principles and my values and my mission. I put my feet on the floor and I get to work. I get to work. I'm not a victim. I'm not a whiner. I'm not a crier. I'm not a little bitch. I'm a guy who just gets up and doesn't miss. And then I stack those W's. Okay, I prayed. Okay, I did my gratitude prayer. Okay, I'm first up. That's a win. Okay, I brushed my teeth. That's a win. Okay, I did my gratitude prayer. That's a win. Okay, I drank 2 glasses of water that were left out. That's a win. Okay, I got my rucking vest on. I got my shoes on. I'm out the door. That's a win. I get back. I walk 10,000 steps. That's a win. Okay, I go in. I kiss my wife, my daughter. I grab my book. I sit down with a cup of coffee and I start reading. That's a win. I drive my daughter to school, to her homeschooling coach. That's a win. I come back. I open up my laptop for Operation Money Suck. I write for 10 minutes. That's a win. Then I write for half an hour. That's a win. I drink some more water. That's a win. And as you can see, I'm 15-0. I'm 20-0 before most guys are getting off their phone. So I win the first hour. I win the second hour. I win the third hour. And then the rest of the day, I can basically do whatever I want. First up, first place. But oh my God, the thought, the feelings and the emotions and stuff, it's like, are you joking? You're not a small child throwing little tantrums. Think about the tough jobs you had where you had to show up. The work has to be the win. You know, walking is the win. Operation Money Suck is the win. Sitting down and reading, are you kidding me? Some people dig ditches and sit in cubicles. You get to be an entrepreneur. You get to run your own business. You get to make your own hours. The work has to be the win. And like my dad said, for the 90 years he's been on this earth, 75 as an entrepreneur, he's like, Michael, understand, the work is the win. The work is the reward. The money you make from this, you know, after you put in the hours, that's gravy. The people you meet is gravy. The people you serve is gravy. You know, all the publicity you get, if you get any, that's the gravy. The testimonials you get, that's the gravy. You know, the health and fitness you get, that's the gravy. Like the skill set that you learn, that's the gravy. But the work has to be the win. You have to do something that you genuinely care about, something that you're passionate about, something you're obsessed about, and something that you can monetize. That's the win, but the win has to be the work. And if you're always looking for shortcuts and you're always looking for hacks and you're always looking for cheat codes, it's a good indication that you're not doing what you're called to do. Because who the hell, if you're on a mission, if you've got a mission and your principles and values rule your day, who the hell looks for shortcuts? Who the hell looks for days off? I don't miss because I love what I do. It's not easy. It's not always great. It doesn't always make me happy. Some of it sucks. Some of it's like eating shit. But most of the time, I enjoy the mission I'm on. And the times that I don't want to do it, I do it anyways because I'm ruled by my values and my principles. If you're eating shit, it's your fault. It's that simple. That's the stuff you're tolerating from vendors, from employees, from business partners, from your queen, from your kids, whatever it is in your life. If you've got low standards, that's on you to correct. Low standards equals chaos. Chaos. High achievers don't like mediocre people. Mediocre people don't like high achievers. So you need to make a decision. Are you going to be a mediocre person, forgotten 20 minutes after your funeral? Or are you going to level up now? You're going to level up, you're going to unfuck your world, and you're going to become a high performance person, a high frequency person, a person who's on a mission that's even bigger than themselves. I don't have any days where I'm going to miss, because I'm at a frequency where I got to help 1 million men. So when I don't want to walk or read or write or work, I just have to think about my mission for 10 seconds. And I'm like, let's go. Let's kick ass and let's take names. Because I'm doing something that's larger than Michael McLean. That's the secret. I'm not selling books. I'm not selling newsletters. I'm not shooting videos. I'm not getting in great shape. What I'm doing is serving other people. All that's a part of it, but it's all part of this massive mission that my Creator has given me, that makes me want to get up early and stay up late. It's bigger than me. It's no longer about me. It's no longer about me. I've answered the call. My Creator said, Michael, I need you to do this. Are you going to answer the call? Will you serve these people? And after decades and decades of hiding in plain sight, sedating, medicating, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I decided I'm going to man up and answer the call. And it's going to be about me. And if I make money, or if I get any perks or any of that stuff above serving people, like my dad said, that's the gravy. The work is the win. Writing the emails is the win. Shooting the videos is the win. Helping people is the win. The rest of it's gravy. It may happen, it may not happen. But I'm answering the call to serve the people I have been asked to serve. That's the next level for you. That's where all of a sudden you leave the ordinary and the average and the mediocre behind. And all of a sudden you become unstoppable. You become relentless. You don't miss. You don't even think about missing, because you have thousands of people or millions of people counting on you and watching you and learning from you. And then all of a sudden you have the standards of a top 1%er. But stop. If it looks like shit, and it tastes like shit, and it smells like shit, and it's in your world, you're eating shit. Man, when I was drinking alcohol 2 years ago, I was eating shit. When I was tolerating, toxic employees in my earlier career, I was eating shit. When I was 23 pounds overweight, sitting behind a desk like a fat insurance guy, I was eating shit, literally. When I was making excuses that I couldn't go to the gym, I couldn't lift weights anymore, I was just lying to myself and eating shit. When I wasn't dating my wife, Krista, and we became roommates and we became disconnected, I was eating shit. So I changed all that stuff. And I did it by increasing my standards. No more ordinary, no more mediocre, no more average. There's no room for it in my life. And just raising the standard across the board so that I can have team chemistry in my world, I can have peace of mind in my world, and I can look at myself in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm not going to win every day. But I'm never, ever, ever going to settle. I'm never, ever, ever going to play not to lose again. I'm never, ever, ever going to get up and play defense. And I'm never, ever, ever again, as long as I'm blessed to walk this earth, I'm never, ever, ever again going to play small and eat shit. As soon as you make that decision, everything in your world will change. You will look at things different. You will look at people different. You will stop suffering fools. You will stop suffering time vampires, energy vampires, and you will understand these are the allies I need. I need my queen. I need my children. I need my grandchildren. I need a couple of allies, and the rest is on you. And then you ask yourself, who have I been called to serve? You're not just selling insurance. You're not just selling homes. You're not just selling flooring or selling diamond rings, or you're not just going to the gym to look better. You're not any of that stuff. Who have you been called to serve? There's nothing more contagious than a positive example. More is caught than taught. More is caught than taught. So if that's true, which it is, who have you been called to serve by your example? Your queen, your kids, your grandkids, and who else? How can you take on a mission that gives you the chills? That when you talk about it at a barbecue or at church or at a t-ball game, that it literally, you cannot not talk about it. You literally, it's your passion, it's your obsession, it's your legacy, it's your significance. You cannot not talk about it. It gives you chills, it gives you goosebumps. It's something that's so big, you're hardly even part of the equation. And when people talk to you and with you about it, they feel your high frequency. They feel that you're a man of significance, of service. They get the chills. They get goosebumps, and they're like, holy shit, there's a man on a mission. Your wife feels it, your children feel it, your grandchildren feel it. A man on a mission. That guy doesn't suffer fools. That guy doesn't tolerate bullshit. That guy doesn't tolerate time vampires. And that guy doesn't play the games. He doesn't play the games of the age of intimidation. You want to intimidate me, then come straight at me. But make sure you step out from behind your keyboard. Because in my world, no mice into men. No mice into men. I hold myself and everybody in my world 100% accountable for everything that comes out of their mouth, every action, every thinking, every behavior. But there's no mice into men in my world. And it all starts and finishes with my example. I don't need to talk a good game. I need to play a good game. No mice into men in my world. Stop eating shit. Grow a pair, whatever it takes, get that brass balls factor going for you, where it doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna literally will it to reality in your world. And you'll have no competition. You won't have any competition because you're surrounded with snowflakes and cupcakes and the manufactured mental ill. You tell me one thing you can't accomplish in 2024. Are you kidding me? There's never been a greater time to be alive than 2024. We are awash in trillions of dollars. We are awash in opportunity. Online, the World Wide Web, artificial stupidity. Are you kidding me? And we are awash in abundance like never before. There's no excuses. You will either choose to be a victim or you will choose to be a victor. But you can't be both. The world will be 99% whiners, 1% winners. And you decide which side of the ledger you're on. Are you going to be the poodle? Are you going to be the whiner? Are you going to be the victim? Or are you going to be the badass king, the badass lion, and the badass brother? It all comes down to your standards. What you'll tolerate, you'll get more of. If you're eating shit in any part of your life, the only thing I can guarantee is you're about to get more of it. Because what we tolerate, we get more of that. Raise your standards, man up, scale up, take every area of your life to the next level, change your identity with your behavior and your habits, and stop eating shit. This world needs more badass kings And that's the calling that's coming your way. You can feel it in your gut. You can feel it in your heart. It's why you're watching these videos. It's why you're on this earth, to make a difference, to live a life of significance, to live a life of service towards others. That's what the world needs more of. You can download a free copy of my book below, 5 Ways to Unfuck Your Life in the Next Month. If you need to get your shit together like we all do from time to time, that's a good start. Print it off. Print it off. You put in your email, I'll email it to you within 5 minutes. That's the deal. Put your email in at brassballsvideos.com. I'll email you the book. It's only 22 pages. No fluff, no theory, no BS. I'll email it to you within 5 minutes. Print it off, study it, share it with your queen, share it with the leaders in your life, share it with your adult children, and decide that, you know what, I'm going to take these 5 things one at a time. Boom, I'm going to make that a ritual habit. I'm going to make that a ritual and a habit. I'm going to change that. And before you know it, in a month, your life is transformed and you're a lion, not a sheep. You're a champion, not a chump. You're a contender, not a pretender. And you're a badass king, not one of these victim poodles. That's it for today. Remember what my 90-year young dad says. Michael, stay relentless, hang in there. It's the greatest time in history to be alive. Block out the noise, block out the toxic negativity, block out all the cupcakes and all the snowflakes and all the losers, all the whiners and criers, and focus on the blessings we have, the wealth, the opportunity, the abundance. And my dad keeps saying, the best is yet to come. Mark my words, the best is yet to come. Download the book, and I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. 2 words that changed my life. 2 words that can change yours. Be relentless.